of Alumni Relations at IU East, and I am really happy to be able to collaborate with the Wayne County Chamber and the Hype Group and the School of Business on this, our third session of Adulting 101. Tonight's topic is networking, mingling, small talk, oh my, and it's about networking and branding. And I think that's a really important subject, not just for young professionals, but for all professionals. I know my alumni board, I'm trying to get them to do some different things with networking and as well. So I'd like to introduce Roxy Deer for some remarks about the local Hype Group. Most of you know Roxy, and I'll probably embarrass her by saying that I've decided that I want to be Roxy Deer when I grow up, if I ever grow up. And I will let her have a few minutes to talk about what's going on with the Hype Group.
Thank you, Terry. That's such an honor to hear you say that, but I want to be you when I grow up.
No.
So Hype Wayne County, I am the staff lead for the chamber for this committee. It serves anyone 21 to 40. It stands for Helping Young Professionals Engage. And so we take anyone in any role as they learn more about who they are and what they want to do. We provide social and networking opportunities. This is Adulting 101 is part of our professional development series. We also do networking nights and more fun. The tips that you'll learn tonight will be greatly used in those networking nights, and we also do, as well as professional development, we also do social networking and social participation events. So if you're ever interested in learning more about Hype, please reach out to myself. Mark, would you like to add anything to that?
So I'm Mark, I work at Reed Health. I'm the co-chair with Roxy. I think it's just important how I work in the Human Resource Department, and this topic tonight is absolutely critical, no matter if you're an introvert or extrovert. And what we do here at the hospital, we have over 3,000 employees, and this is absolutely vital to success, and young professionals are some of the best and some of the worst at this. So I'm excited to have this recorded and be able to share this, not only outside, but also with the Human Resource Department here.
Thanks, Mark.
So I always kind of jokingly say, I think the Hype Group is just an amazing group, and I wish it had been around when I was much, much younger. I always thought that we should start a group called HOPS, H-O-P-S, Helping Old Professionals Survive. And you know, for those of us who are more seasoned and the seasons are getting longer. So that may be something you want to pilot for us, Melissa. I'd also like to introduce Dr.
Hey, are you calling me old?
No.
I'm
saying that because it would, you know, from the chamber, you have Hype, maybe you need HOPS.
Oh, okay.
No. You're much younger than me, I'll tell you that. Much younger than me. I'd like to introduce Dr. Oilen Chung. She is from the IU School of Business, and I will let her do a few remarks in just a second. Oilen is an associate professor of finance and works for the School of Business. She's also the discipline coordinator for economics and finance and oversees the economic and finance curricula in our business degree program at IU East. In addition, she serves as the Diversity East Business and Outlook Research Center. She conducts the annual East Central Indiana Business Survey, represents IU East at the Business Outlook Forum, which we just had last week, a very successful one last week. She writes the Richmond Forecast Report, which is published with the Indiana Business Review. She also maintains the IU East Regional Business Competent Index and writes the annual East Central Indiana Business Survey Report that is released on her center website each year. She also founded Adulting 101 in the fall of 2018 and is a continuing partner of this program and very, very busy, obviously. So Oilen, would you like to share a few words?
Thank you, Terry. That's why I work with Melissa a lot every year. First of all, let me welcome everybody again to this virtual event. It's so nice to see you folks here for our third Adulting 101 event for this fall. As mentioned by Terry, the topic for this evening is on the importance of networking and how to build and or improve your networking skills. Among other benefits, networking allows you access to opportunities that you might not be able to find your own. Your network has the potential to provide you with some, or maybe a lot, helpful insight into different fields, valuable information on what potential employers are looking for, and also a lot of great advice on how you can improve professionally. Or if you are a business owner or planning to be one, networking will help you establish a mutually beneficial relationship with other business people and potential clients or customers. Business networking benefits no doubt include the intangible gains made by communicating with other professionals in or relating to your industry. Always thanks to the great work of Terry, the director of our alumni relations, in putting together this event and inviting Melissa to share with us some great tips with regard to networking. I hope you all enjoy this evening and come back to our future events. I know you are very eager to learn about the great tips from Melissa, and I do not want to keep you waiting. Let me pass the control back to Terry for some Zoom housekeeping instructions, and then we'll have Melissa begin her presentation.
Thank you, Oilen. Thank you very much for that. Just a few housekeeping Zoom instructions. You're probably all familiar with making sure that you mute. I'm going to mute here in case my dogs decide to bark in a minute. There will be a question and answer. If you have a question, you want to put it in the chat box, that would be great. And someone can address that. And then also, I want to remind you that we are being recorded so that you are aware that you're being recorded privacy-wise. Jason Troutwine, the Vice Chancellor for External Affairs, was also slated to present tonight, along with Melissa. And unfortunately, he's had a death in the family and is unable to attend today. So if you'd all just keep Jason and his family in your thoughts and prayers, that would be a really great thing. But we have the amazing Melissa Vance with us tonight, and she's going to share with us some wonderful information. Melissa currently serves as the President and Chief Executive Officer of the Wayne County Chamber of Commerce. Wayne County native and graduate of Centerville High School. Just last year she graduated. That's how young she is. Just last year. Holds a business degree from Indiana Wesleyan University. Her background includes significant accomplishments in business development, marketing, public relations. She has a diverse background with experience in banking and entrepreneurship, healthcare, grant writing, and nonprofit leadership. In addition to her roles at Chamber, she serves on many boards, board of directors or advisory councils for IU East, for the Purdue Polytechnic, for Ivy Tech, Eastern Indiana Small Business Development Corporation, Earlham College, Center City Development Corporation, Communities and Schools, Eastern Indiana Regional Planning Commission, Wayne County Foundation, and Centerville Main Street. And the woman must never be home. She probably lives at home. So thank you, Melissa, for taking the helm today and giving this wonderful information. So I will let you take it away.
Thank you, Terry. You know, when I start hearing people read my bio, I think, man, we really need to shorten that thing. So next time it's going to be like 3 sentences. That's it. And you're right. I'm not home much and I certainly don't sleep much, but I have a whole lot of fun. So there you go. I asked Roxy to kind of step in and be a part of the presenting team to you tonight, since Jason isn't going to be here, because I think it's always more fun when there's at least 2 people interacting. All that said, this is all about networking. And so we want you to be a part of the conversation too, not just a presentation. So if you have thoughts or questions or comments, feel free to put them in the chat box, raise your hand, whatever, we'll get to you. And if you so choose, we would love to see your face if you want to turn your camera on. If not, we understand, but we like to see people. Hi, Joe. Good to see you.
Good to see you as well.
I am going to now talk about the fact that we have this title at the top, 5 networking hacks for introverts. That said, if you're an extrovert, don't automatically think, well, this isn't for me, because there will be tips and tricks for you too, and how to help you engage in a more productive way, and to help some of the introverts get out of their shell. So that's always good too, to have both in the room. So don't think it's not for you if you're an extrovert naturally. But what we wanted to do is start off by having you take a little quiz. And we want to know from you, how many of you think that you are an introvert, and how many of you think you're an extrovert? So there's a poll up on the screen. Go ahead right now and just click whichever one you think you are and hit submit. We're going to see where everybody lands as far as our group goes. We'll give you just a second to do that. Roxy, what do you think you are? Introvert or extrovert?
I think I'm an introvert. I think.
It's always fun to hear what people think they are, and also to hear what people think others are. So most people would think Roxy is an extrovert through and through, but we'll find out. Wow, so we're close to 50-50 as far as what people think. So 53-47. Remember that. I won't. I'm old, but you young people, you remember that. Terry and I, we might have to take notes. All right, so we're going to give you a chance now to take a little quiz and see exactly which you fall in. And so I put this link in the chat box. Go ahead and click on that link and answer some questions. We're going to give you 3 minutes or so to answer these questions. At the end, it's going to tell you if you tend to be an introvert or tend to be an extrovert. It's not an exact science, but we're going to give you a minute to do that. So. Roxy, why don't you go ahead and put up the next poll, because now we want to see what you really are, and see if we were close or not at all. So it'll be interesting. So are you truly an introvert or an extrovert?
So our numbers changed just a little bit.
Okay. Does everyone have a chance to answer? If you need another minute to finish up, let me know.
It says everyone has taken it.
Okay, let's put the results up there, Roxy. 56-44. So really close, not too much, really close. A little bit more heavy on the introvert side than the extrovert side. I think it's funny that people often see Roxy and I both as extroverts, and we are truly both introverts that have learned to overcome some of our introvert tendencies in order to be successful in certain situations. So not that we've mastered it, but we've practiced a whole lot and we've gotten a lot better. Wouldn't you say, Roxy?
Yeah, a lot of people think introvert or extrovert means how you act, but it's actually how you react to situations. And so you and I may be out doing networking events or events like this, but the really important time is the time that we take after this to refuel our own buckets, and to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves.
Absolutely. So, out of curiosity, Andy Floyd, if you can unmute yourself and answer me. I mean, Andy Floyd, he's Spider-Man, right?
You can't tell the secrets.
Andy Floyd, did you test introvert or extrovert?
I actually tested introvert.
You cut out just a second. What'd you say?
I tested introvert.
Introvert. Interesting.
So that's why you like to be behind the mask.
Yeah, I can hide back there, yes.
There you go. All right, well, we're going to go ahead and go to the next screen. So this quote is really relevant in this topic. Your passion is waiting for your courage to catch up. And a lot of times, all of us, it doesn't matter which side we land on, all of us need a little bit of courage to step into new roles and new situations. And so that's really what we're talking about today. It's how you can be successful in a new situation, right? Let's go ahead to the next slide, Roxy. So hack number 1 is stand out. Roxy, what does this mean?
It's not coming in with wild hair and crazy looking makeup, and for men wearing bright suits. It's making sure that you stand out professionally and that you stand out amongst your peers in some significant way. And the way you introduce yourself is oftentimes the best way to stand out.
Yes, it's having a really nice, we call it an elevator pitch, but honestly, it's just a really nice introduction and being, speaking clearly, being pleasant, smiling makes all the difference in the world. So smile when you talk. Yes, you're right. Your suit does stand out, Andy. Peter Parker. Yes, Joe. Do we want to give everybody a chance to practice their elevator pitch, Roxy?
Absolutely.
Do you think we have enough time to go into some breakout rooms?
I don't know that we'll have the ability to do breakout rooms tonight, but we could have people type their elevator pitches in the chat box.
Okay, that sounds good.
Has anyone ever built an elevator speech before?
If you have, give us a thumbs up. All right. So, Lindsay Hobson, you have built an elevator pitch, and I don't want to put you totally on the spot if you don't want to do it, say no. But if you do want to, we would love to hear it.
Hold on, let me get another room. Now that I'm unmuted, of course, the baby wants to scream.
Of course.
We're actually reading a book at work right now about it's New Sales Simplified. And one of the chapters is building your elevator pitch and the steps and the best way to do it. So we actually did that as an exercise at work.
Awesome.
A couple weeks ago. What all I said, I don't think I can remember, but it is something that I've done very recently, actually. So,
but what elements would you say is in that? Are there like 3 elements that you want to include?
I think there were 5 total. One of them was just short and simple, like what your company is, who you are. And then calling out kind of testimonials, what businesses you've worked with or problems that you've solved for them and why they call on you. And I can't remember what else. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no problem at all. If you know the name of that book off the top of your head, put it in the chat box in case other people want to check it out.
Yep, I saw Terry asked. I'm putting it in right now. It's called New Sales Simplified.
Awesome. Thanks, Lindsay.
Melissa,
You're
I put
welcome.
an example of my elevator pitch in the chat box. If you would like to take a stab at an elevator pitch, go ahead and add it to the chat box, and we'll let Terry pick the best one.
Perfect. Hey, how about the best elevator pitch gets a chamber gift certificate that can be used at about 40 different local businesses, and you can take it out and go shopping on Shop Small Saturday that's coming up the Saturday after Thanksgiving. So a little shameless chamber plug there, but we try to support local as much as possible, and we'll give away the chamber certificate, and Terry can pick the best. Does that sound like a good deal?
That's a lot of pressure. Gosh. Okay. I'm looking at
So
him.
much. All right.
It
Well,
seems a great example so far.
when we talk about standing out, I want to just point out the fact that it's okay to have some physical characteristic that stands out. If you're a guy and you want to rock a bow tie or a mustache, go for it. That's not a problem. When you talk about wearing fluorescent orange, dyeing your hair purple, or walking in with your dirty tennis shoes on, it makes a statement, right? It doesn't matter how you appearance matters, and we can all try to not judge people by appearance, but it is first impressions, whether we want it to be or not. So think about that when you're going, especially to a professional event. If you're coming to a chamber network night or an event at IUEast that's more on the professional side, or if you're in the workforce interacting with clients or a boss, think about how you look and how you carry yourself, because you'll either stand out for the good or you'll stand out for the bad. So let's go ahead and go to the next slide, Roxy. So the next hack is to know your audience. If you know where you're going and who is going to be there, think about that, even if it's just on your drive there or before you walk in the door. Have an idea of who's in the room, because that's going to make you more comfortable interacting with people than getting in there and being, almost like deer in the headlights because you didn't think things through. So, this is me. I'm Melissa Vance, Wayne County Area Chamber of Commerce. But if you're coming to a chamber network night, likely you're going to see some business owners, some CEOs. You're going to see some young professionals like the people that are in the room tonight, whether it's Lindsay from the radio station or Joe, who's a local pastor in the community, Jared, who's brand new with Home to Suites, and we're so excited to have him representing Wayne County now, and so many others. But you're going to see some of these familiar faces and just kind of know who you're going to be talking to, because that will help you be a little more prepared.
Melissa, on my first day at the chamber, you and I had lunch with some new leaders from other chambers, and we got to the location, and before you even went in, you said, I want to make sure that I know their name and what they do. And you pulled up LinkedIn on your phone and quickly got snapshots of who they were, what they look like. You also knew what their titles were. And so it was a quick reminder to me that LinkedIn, social media, these are great tools. If you know somebody's going to be at a meeting, look them up, research them so that you're not surprised when you first meet them and you're refreshed on who they are.
And the other thing is, maybe you don't know what somebody looks like, but you know they're going to be there, or you hope they are. Look up what they look like and you'll know how to find them in the room. Because even when people have name tags on, unless you walk around staring at people's shoulder area, you're really not going to, which is awkward, by the way. I actually hate events where everybody has the stick on name tags because I think it's awkward to walk around and go, oh, you are, it's so much better to say, I'm Melissa and I don't think we've met before. And usually if we have, somebody will say, oh yeah, we met at whatever. And I'm so sorry. Remind me what your name is. And it's okay. People don't expect you to know everything.
Melissa,
Just
I was
be
going to add
honest.
that I think doing a little bit of research before is important. I know I do that when I'm going to meet with any alums. I always look up and see, what their degree is in, what year they graduated, because that way I can know where they are in the spectrum of alumni, whether they're early people or the late people. And so I think just doing that little bit of research, I think it will make you feel more comfortable too when you're in the group.
Absolutely. By the way, I am loving seeing all of your elevator pitches landing in the chat box. Okay, let's go on to the next one, Roxy. So the next hack is to listen. We've heard it, but the most successful people I've known are the ones who do more listening than talking. If you feel awkward in a situation or talking to somebody, the best thing in the world is to say, tell me about you, and then just listen. And they'll start talking about themselves. And then you can ask them more questions about what they're saying. And before long, you've had a really great conversation and you haven't had to do much talking, but they will think you're the nicest person in the world because you cared enough to listen, and it makes an impression. So if you feel awkward, just ask questions and be engaged in what people are saying. Does that make sense? Anybody
We've
have
all-
any good examples?
We've all met someone who, when you're having a conversation, their eyes are immediately darting to somebody else in the room that they would like to have a conversation with. And we know what that feels like. So don't be the person who does it to someone.
Or it's so easy to start thinking while somebody is talking, to start thinking about what you're going to say next. And that's human nature. And I'm not saying that you can just automatically turn that off, but try really hard to listen to what they're saying. I think it's very important to hear, and it will help you remember them more for the next time. Then the next time you see them, you can say, hey, Roxy, how's your dog doing? And strike up a conversation, and Roxy's going to be so impressed that you remembered she had a dog. All right, let's go on to the next slide. So help other introverts. So this guy, he's standing over by the wall and he's thinking, I have no idea what to do or say right now. Can I just go home? And you can read it all over his face. He's got his arms crossed. It's his body language. You can absolutely be his hero. Andy, this is where you come in. You're the hero. And I should have put your picture up there, but I didn't because it's girl power tonight. Roxy and I are in charge. But you can be the hero. Go over, start talking to him, ask him about himself, and say, hey, I bet you would hit it off well with so-and-so. Let me go introduce you. And before long, you're playing this role of helping people connect. and that helps you shine. But the most empowering thing I feel like is when you can help other people succeed. And when you leave at the end of the day, you're going to feel good because you helped other people succeed. So, what do you have to add to that, Roxy? Thoughts?
Well, I'm going to talk a little bit about the Z method. If anybody has anyone ever been to a networking event? Give me a thumbs up if you've been to a networking event. Let's see, I know I can, any kind of networking event, whether it be a chamber one, a hype one, something at IU East. I've seen some thumbs go up. So for me, as an introvert, when I walk into an event, I'm going to use the chamber annual dinner as my example. That room is massive, and it is really overwhelming to walk into that room as an introvert. I immediately want to just put my head down, get to my table, sit down. Or what other people do is they go straight to the bars, right? And that's where the biggest groups of people are. So in my mind, what I have to do is create a Z in the room, like a Z that, and that's my map of where I'm going to walk and who I'm going to talk to. And it'll start in one corner, it'll end in the complete opposite corner. What's really great is that along that way, people are going to see you. They're going to see you talking to different people. You're going to meet everyone at the party at that point or at the event, wherever it may be. And usually in the corners of the rooms are where the food is at, right? The food, the drinks, that's where you want to be. That's where the biggest groups are. So, and I will give a really good example at Palette to Palette last year. Mark, Lindsay, I think you were there, Megan, a few of us were there, and we walked through the room. We went corner to corner. And as we went, we ran into different groups and we said, hey, how are you? But we knew that we had a map that we needed to get to, and we only had a few minutes to get through the whole room. We had, I think, 45 minutes to stop at like 6 tables throughout the room. But as we went, we were making quick connections, quick introductions. We had people along the way that we needed to see and meet, and it made the room much more accessible to us and less overwhelming.
That's a great point, Roxy. And, as people see you, especially if once they get to know your face a little bit, they'll stop you and they'll talk to you. And it's not going to be all on you. This isn't 100% offensive game we're playing, so to speak, for those sports fanatics in the room. It's both, right? It's learning how to interact with people that stop you. Don't let it catch you off guard. Know that people are going to stop you and want to talk. If you're new to the area, they're going to stop you and say, hey, I don't think we've met before. I'm Melissa. And so don't let that catch you off guard if you're going to be stopped. But
And I can attest to this. I know it's hard as a young professional to feel like everyone in the room already has connections. The secret is nobody likes doing this. Nobody likes making connections. So when you see somebody they're all of a sudden going to want to talk to you about everything. And it's your goal to keep those conversations short so that you can get to more conversations. Not rude, just short. And hi, I'm Roxy. It's great to see you. Thanks for being here tonight. It's wonderful to see you. You look beautiful. How are things going at the office? You don't have to get personal. You don't have to. I hate when people go, so Roxy, how's it going? And then 10 minutes later, we're having the same we just keep repeating the same conversation with the same people. So make sure that you're keeping your conversations meaningful and you're not dragging them out as well.
absolutely. I'm loving the comments that are popping up in the chat. So good job on your sales pitches. Terry, you are 100% right. When you get seated with somebody at an event that you don't know, again, don't let it catch you off guard. Know that unless you're going with a table of 8, you're probably going to be seated with somebody you don't know. So just think about that going into it. And for those of us that do seating charts, it is incredibly difficult. Just know that we always, always, always try and sit you with somebody that we think you'll enjoy being with. That's not 100% foolproof, but we try really hard.
And not seat you with somebody that we know you're not going to, like if there's been a divorce or there's been something like that. I mean, you have
Yes,
to be
this is
aware of those
right.
things.
And while we're on the event track, can I give a shout out to somebody who's just joining our team?
Yes.
We don't even have an official announcement out yet, but because you attended tonight, I am going to.
That's why I wasn't saying anything.
I'm totally going to let you in on a secret. And we have just hired Lynette Davis as our new director of events at the Chamber. Hey, Lynette. Do you want to give everyone your sales pitch?
Hi, my name's Lynette Davis, and I'm the new director of events for the Wayne County Chamber.
There you go. Good
It's short
job.
and sweet.
Everyone click on your little reactions at the bottom. Give her the hand clap or the little ta-da thing. We're so excited to have her. She's going to be great. And she also is going to try really hard to sit you with somebody that you like at all of the events.
I'm the extrovert on the team, I guess.
I guess you are. I just have to go home and rest. I have to like go for a walk or something, and then I'm good. But yeah. Okay, let's go to the next slide. So hack number 5 is to volunteer. If you really want to get to know people, a good way to get to know people is to get involved, right? And you may not be aware of how to get involved, but we're going to try and connect you. I know that the folks at IU East want to connect you, and we at the Chamber want to connect you. And so if you're wanting to get involved, reach out to us and we will help get you connected in places where we feel like you'll be a good fit for whatever that group is, but also that you'll enjoy it. So there are 3 things on here. One is the community. Volunteering in the community might be just volunteering for a day. For instance, it might be volunteering to go out on weed patrol and get your weed whacker out and take care of the weeds alongside the road. Eric Van Fleet is going to love you if you join the Hype crew and help take care of weeds and trash on a community service day. That would be a one-time event, a community service event where you could go out and just lend a hand, right? It's not a big commitment, but there are things like that going on a lot. Joining a committee might be you want to be on the committee for the Meltdown Festival that is in Richmond. For those of you that might not be aware of it, it's the ice festival where we bring in ice carvers and have a lot of fun events surrounding that. You might decide you want to be a part of that planning committee, and we could get you plugged into that planning committee. They would love to have you. Or Roxy, talk about one of your favorite chamber committees.
Yeah, so obviously Hype is one of my favorite committees. It's a great way to get involved, but we have so many committees that exist for groups with their own special interests. So we have everything from our serious committees that talk about upcoming legislation, which is our Issues and Advocacy Committee. We have Business Ed, which is talking about workforce development and everything pre-K through college. We also have our Events Committee, which Lynette will take over. We call that the ACES Committee. We have our member outreach, which is working with our businesses one-on-one to make sure that they're met with. And then I'm forgetting one.
Buy local.
Buy local, of course. Buy local is our Shop Small initiative. And so Angel, I know you sit on that one, and they do a lot of work with making sure our community is thinking local, shopping local, and buying local. And anybody, if you're a chamber member, If your business is a chamber member, students, if you're interested, you can join any of those committees. You can come, you can shop around and try as many as you would like.
Absolutely. And if you're on this call, likely you fall into one of those categories. So feel free to reach out. We'd love to have you on our committees. You don't have to wait for an invitation. Let us know. We welcome you to the table. And then to serve on boards in the community. There are nonprofits. There are more nonprofits than what you could possibly imagine in Wayne County. I know that I was shocked once I started seeing lists of nonprofits because there are so many. Everything from, if you love animals, there are nonprofits that serve animals. If you're passionate about battered women and children, there are nonprofits for that. Birth to Five, Lynette works with Birth to Five and does Dancing with the Stars, and Mark got to dance this year for Dancing with the Stars, and that was fun, Mark and Megan. So there's all kinds of nonprofits, and they're always looking for really good board members. And it's a great way to get involved and to meet a group of people, and through that group of people, your network is going to grow. And I guess one of the things that we really should probably end on, Roxy, is why it's important to have a strong network. What's the value of a network? You know, we're talking about networking and all of this, but why?
I had a great conversation today with Angel. We talked about, you know, we're both from Wayne County. We were born and raised here. And what this community has given us is the opportunity to connect and the opportunity to develop. And it's strictly because of our networks. Yeah, we put in a lot of work, but the people that we meet have invested in us, especially as young professionals. I think Angel will say that Mary has invested a significant amount of time in her and making sure that she has the skills. Melissa, you've invested a lot of time in me as your employee, and you make sure that I have the skills, but you're also helping me connect and make a stronger network for myself. So the network that you build for yourself of professional contacts, that's always going to come back and help you in your career.
It's the people that are going to help you grow. It's the people that are probably going to call on you and say, hey, I know you're looking for a job. I heard of this great job and you'd be a great fit. Now, don't ever do that to any of the chamber employees. I'm just saying that right up front. Never call Lynette or Roxy. Daniel's not here today because he's on vacation, but don't call him either. They're not going anywhere, but other people you can call. No, but seriously, it's those are the kinds of things that happen, and they will help you grow. There's a lot of people that care about having a good pipeline of professionals that are ready to move up when people retire or when people move on to another position. So it's something that you want to make sure you're always thinking about. And again, not to always be self-serving. It's more rewarding if you're stepping in to be helpful to others. So with that, I want to take some Q&A, and then we want to have Terry announce which one of you had the best pitch. So first of all, though, we'll take some Q&A thoughts. If you have questions, that's great. But if you just have something relevant you want to add to the conversation, we'd love to hear it.
You know, I'll add something right now. This morning, when I sit down at the computer and turned everything on, I have my calendar here on my desk. And I don't know if any of you are familiar with the book, You're a Badass, You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero. Love Jen Sincero, and I love this book. And I have the You Are a Badass calendar on my desk. And this is today's message on my calendar was surround yourself with people who know more than you do. Read about them, study them, hang out with them, hire them. Be on the lookout for the perfect coach, mentor, or book or seminar, because when the student is ready, the teacher appears. Pay attention to who and what flies in your radar and learn as much as you can from them. And I thought how fitting that was for this topic that we were going. So I wanted to share that with you.
Absolutely.
And if anybody wants to read You Are a Badass and have a wonderful book discussion, let's do it, because that's my favorite book. So
Terry, who is that by again?
Jen Sincero, I'll put her name in the this.
Yeah,
And
do that in case
she
anybody
has a
wants to
couple
look
other
up.
books, and she's just recently started. I should try to find it. She's doing some Zoom sessions for her new book about badass habits. And there's, I think it's in January that I'm doing. There's several dates that you can do it, but I'm going to be doing a Zoom thing with her and a Zoom seminar with her. But she's a little irreverent at times, but I swear that was one of those books that changed my life. And
Awesome.
I swear by it now. So
If anybody would like to borrow a copy, I have one in my office right now. It's one of my favorite books.
There
oh my
you
gosh.
go.
See, we are going to be each other when we grow up.
What else?
I will say, as a young professional, one thing that I think all of us, and I've had this conversation with many of you in this room, is that when you are a passionate and powerful person, they're going to ask you to be on every single board that you can possibly be on. And you have to be able to say no. And I don't have that ability. I'm working on it. I'm trying. You can ask Melissa. I get like a gold star when I say no in the office. Like she cheers and claps for me. But you
It's
have
true.
to.
I
You-
am really bad at saying no as well. So it's like the pot calling the kettle black. But I look at Roxy and I'm like, no, say
Practice.
no. And that, I mean, honestly, that is a good point, Roxy, because you can't be good. You can't be good if you're trying to do too much, if you're stretched too thin. You can't be your best self, and you can't for yourself or for others if you stretch yourself too thin. So pick and choose, especially, this group specifically is targeted toward you all who are young professionals. You have a long career ahead of you. If you were 30, and I won't name any names of people that are turning 30 this week, but if you are turning 30,
Cool.
you literally have 35 more years of your career to serve on boards of every kind across the community. You don't have to do them all at once. You will term out and then have nothing to do. So don't try and do it all at once. Like I said, you'll serve them all, and then you will sit around and be bored. So stretch it out, be the best that you can be as you're moving forward. But well,
And I will.
we're at our time limit, Terry, maybe even a little beyond. So
Oh, you're muted, Terry.
I'll put some more quarters in. It'll be okay.
okay.
If there's ever anyone in the community that you're interested in meeting or building a good relationship with, but you don't know how to make the first call, reach out to either myself or Melissa. We would love to put you in connection with anybody in the community. We see that as our one of our roles is to connect people in the community to build better relationships. So always feel free to reach out. The last time we did this, somebody said, "Can you introduce me to Kim Poinsett?" And they literally thought they just couldn't walk up to Kim. And Lindsay, Kim's your aunt. She's the nicest person. She will greet you with a hug if it wasn't for COVID, right?
Yes, that's true. Kim is awesome. If you haven't met Kim yet, you need to meet Kim. Kim with First Bake Richmond. She's awesome. And there are so many people like Kim in the community that are just willing to help. We're putting our email addresses in the chat box too. So if you want to reach out, if you have more comments or questions or other thoughts, please feel free to email us. I promise you that I'm not great at returning an email immediately because I get so many. So if it's a day or ish, don't give up on me. I will return your email. I would love to hear from you. But with that, I want to say one more thing that we mentioned Shop Small Saturday, which is the Saturday after Thanksgiving, and that is the best time to spend this chamber certificate. But Angel, do you want to talk about the selfie contest? Because we need these people to all participate.
Sure. So as part of Small Business Saturday,
Oops, you're kind of cutting in and out. You are totally cutting in and out, Angel. I'm sorry. I am going to tell you what she was saying. So she can move her lips and I'll just say it. But Angel works for the Tourism Bureau and she's on our buy local committee. And tourism plays a great role in Shop Small Saturday as well. They are doing a contest. So if you are out shopping, and you can start now, you don't have to wait till Shop Small Saturday. Take a selfie in a small business, hashtag Shop Small WC, tag the chamber, tag Wayne County Convention Tourism Bureau, and you'll be entered for a prize. So tonight's not your only chance to get a prize. Okay, Terry, that's all I have.
Okay, so I have to choose the elevator speech, and the one that if I were sitting at a table with someone or approach someone, the one I think would probably fuel me to ask more questions and to carry on a conversation. So I kind of took that in consideration. And even though it might be a little bit long on words, was Christina Robinson's. She talks a lot about who she is, what she does, and other aspects of her life. And those are the kind of things that would lend me to say, oh, you do that, or oh, you tell me more about this. And so I think that's more of an encouraging. Keep in mind that way you're giving that person you meet prompts that say, oh, you do this, oh, you do that, tell me more about this, or I know so and so. So even though it might be a little bit long word wise, it has so much information packed in it that it would spur conversation for me. So Christina.
Wonderful.
Thank you so much. I think this is the first time I've ever worn like anything ever. So that's awesome. I go on camera, but I'm breastfeeding my baby right now.
No problem.
Thank you so much.
Tonight's your night to shine. Congratulations.
I really appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And I will work on trying to shorten it down.
Christina, like I said, it gave me enough information that a lot of things that then I could, open up and talk to. So it was like a good prompts for whoever you're interacting with. And I thought that was a good thing. Before we do close, I think Roxy has one more thing she wants to talk about.
Absolutely. Thank you, Terry. Christina, before we leave, will you send me your email and I will get that gift certificate to you. I do want to give a quick, I'm going to drop a link in the chat box. HYPE Wayne County, like I said, stands for Helping Young Professionals Engage. And our next event is actually kind of exciting. It is on December 10th. We're hosting a blood drive in partnership with the Senior Citizen Center here in Wayne County. And so this is going to be a COVID safe event. The Red Cross is actually running the entire thing. You have to sign up. There are no walk-in times available. But if you do give blood that day, you will get a COVID antibody test, which I know is a hot commodity right now in the community. So make sure you register and get online and get there to give blood. If you register and you show up that day, you will get a long sleeve t-shirt that we're giving away as well. So make sure that you sign up and register for that. Blood is in short supply right now and in high demand. So make sure that you get signed up so that we can help alleviate some of the stress on our hospitals.
Awesome. That's a great donate blood because we're in need, and then you get the COVID antibodies test too. So what a great thing. I put it on my calendar and I will share that with my alumni group.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Roxy. Thank you, Roxy and Melissa, for this wonderful information. It's always good to hear these things, and it's always good for an old professional to also hear these things. So thank you very much. I want to thank Oilen for being here and for helping us establish this program. Thank you, Oilen. I want to remind you that our next Adulting 101 session is on December the 16th, and it's entitled Free Time. What's that? It's tricks and tips for balancing work and life. And Roxy and I had a conversation this morning even about living this in the world of COVID. Roxy, I keep thinking of what you said to me about, you said someone told you this morning about work. It's our life is all focused about work now. Is that, can you remember what you said to me? Because it kept going through my mind all day today.
Yeah, I read, my friend is a health advisor in Indianapolis, and she said right now fatigue is so real because we have to work and we have to do our day-to-day jobs, but we're not allowed to do the things that we love and see the people that make us happy. So we're not filling our buckets right now. So I think it's really relevant that our next Adulting 101 is going to be talking about how you keep your life balanced during chaos and specifically COVID.
Which is really, really relevant right now as we're approaching the holidays and struggling with being inside and not being able to be outside and the dark days that's happening. So more information, it'll be the same Zoom link for registration, but more information will be going out for that. And I want to thank you all for being here. It's always good to see new faces, and we hope we see you again soon. If you need anything, you can contact me as well. So thank you very much, guys. Have a wonderful night. Have a wonderful weekend. Go Hoosiers.
Thanks, Terry. Good to
You
see
too.
you.